Have you ever wondered what it truly takes to change a life that seems utterly lost? Imagine a boy who lived in the shadows, invisible to the world, blind, abandoned and alone, suddenly given a chance to see the light for the very first time. But this isn't just a story about a miracle surgery or a lucky break. It's a tale of resilience, betrayal, and unexpected love that will shake your heart to its core. What happens when a child rejected by his own family finds hope in the most unlikely place? And how far will a family go to right the wrongs of the past? Stay with us, because the journey you're about to witness is filled with twists that no one could have predicted, and a powerful lesson that might just change the way you see the world forever. Jason Carter, a wealthy businessman known throughout Seattle for his success and generous heart, was driving through the bustling streets one bright morning. The city hummed with the usual sounds of honking cars, footsteps, and distant chatter. At a red light near Capitol Hill, Jason's luxury car came to a halt. Just then, a soft tapping came at his window. Turning his head, Jason saw a young boy no older than 10. The child looked fragile, his clothes torn and dusty, his arms thin and trembling. The boy's hand was extended silently, a clear plea for help. Without hesitation, Jason rolled down the window and handed the boy a $50 bill. The child's face lit up with gratitude, his smile illuminating the hardship etched into his young features. "Thank you, sir. This means more than you know. I'll get some food for my little brother," he said, voice trembling but sincere. Rachel Morgan, Jason's wife, sitting beside him, frowned deeply. "Why do you keep doing this, giving money to every homeless person you see? Don't you know they're just choosing to live this way?" She snapped, her tone sharp. Jason sighed, keeping his eyes on the street. "I don't believe anyone chooses to live on the streets, Rachel. Everyone has a story." She rolled her eyes, dismissive. "There are criminals out there, people who make bad choices. You're wasting your money on people who won't change. It's dangerous, Jason. You can't just hand out cash to strangers." Their conversation continued, tension simmering between them as the light turned green and Jason carefully navigated through the traffic. Minutes later, they arrived outside Evergreen Boutique, a chic store Rachel had been waiting to visit. She stepped out, glancing towards the sidewalk. That's when she noticed a small figure sitting on a piece of cardboard. Ethan Brooks, a boy with oversized dark sunglasses hiding eyes that had seen too much, sitting quietly amidst the city rush. Rachel's heart stirred, though she tried to mask it. Moments later, clutching a new purse, she re-entered the car and stopped Jason before he could drive away. "I want to make a bet," she said, crossing her arms and looking at him with a calculating gaze. Jason raised an eyebrow. "A bet? Yeah. That kindness of yours, you're convinced that people like that boy are honest." "Let's test it," she challenged, nodding toward Ethan on the corner. Jason caught on immediately. "You want me to drop my wallet near him and see if he keeps it?" Rachel nodded firmly. "Exactly. If he returns it, I'll admit I was wrong. I'll even give him something more. But if he disappears with it, you have to stop this madness of giving money to strangers on the street." Jason smiled gently, touched by her cynicism, but ready for the test. "Deal, but prepare to be surprised." With a calm resolve, Jason carefully emptied his wallet of all cards and documents, leaving only $500 in folded bills. Pocketing his personal items, he quietly stepped out, approaching Ethan with the wallet concealed in his hand. As he neared the boy, Jason feigned an accidental drop of the wallet near Ethan's feet. From inside the car, Rachel watched intently, recording the scene with her phone. Ethan's head snapped toward the wallet. He reached down swiftly, picked it up, and inspected it carefully. His fingers trembled as he felt the thick stack of bills, yet instead of pocketing the cash immediately, he looked around, seemingly conflicted. Slowly, he folded the wallet closed and slipped it into his worn shorts pocket. Jason, watching from a distance, felt his heart pound. Ethan remained seated, hand outstretched for passers-by, as if nothing had happened. Jason's hope soared. He returned to the car, silent for a moment. Rachel scoffed, showing him the video. "See? He took it, just like I said." Jason paused, studying the footage carefully. Maybe. Or maybe there's more to this than meets the eye. He was beginning to see the boy differently, sensing a story beneath the surface. That evening, back at their spacious home in Queen Anne, the tension between Jason and Rachel lingered. But neither could shake the image of Ethan, the boy who held a wallet full of money and didn't run. The next morning, Jason and Rachel made a decision that would change all their lives. Meanwhile, Ethan's world was a constant struggle. Blind since birth, he navigated the city streets with a battered cane and oversized sunglasses. He was a survivor, but each day brought its share of rejection and hardship. People ignored him and some treated him harshly. Yet beneath the pain was a boy determined to keep his dignity intact. When Jason and Rachel invited Ethan to their home, a fragile hope flickered in the boy's heart. For the first time, he felt seen, not as a homeless child, but as someone worthy of kindness and care. And as the days unfolded, a journey of healing, redemption, and unexpected family secrets began to weave their threads together. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the interruption, but we hope you will help us improve our content in the future. What would you do if you found a wallet full of money on the street? Would you return it, keep it, or walk away? Do you believe someone's circumstances define their character? How do you think kindness can change someone's life? Share your thoughts below. Certainly, here is a rewritten, expanded, and more dramatic version of part 2 of the story, tailored for American and European audiences, with emotional depth and suspense in approximately 1,200 words. After the wallet incident, life in the wealthy town of Willow Creek took on a strange new rhythm, one neither Ethan nor his newfound family could have anticipated. The weight of the lost and found wallet had done more than just test Ethan's honesty. It had opened a door to a world he had only ever dreamed about. Rachel and Jason, though overwhelmed, were determined to give Ethan a chance, a real chance at life, not just survival. The grand mansion they called home suddenly felt less like a fortress and more like a place of possibility, but it also carried with it shadows of doubt and fear. Could they truly heal a child broken by years on the streets? Could Ethan trust them, and could they trust themselves to be the family he deserved? Rachel found herself walking the halls late at night, haunted by memories of her own lost son, the baby she had been told was gone forever. The grief and guilt clung to her like a shadow she could not shake. But Ethan's presence stirred something dormant within her, a fragile hope that maybe, just maybe, this boy could be a second chance, not only for him, but for herself. Jason, on the other hand, grappled with the world of wealth and influence he had mastered, but never truly understood. The business deals, the corporate boardrooms, the endless pursuit of status suddenly seemed hollow compared to the simple warmth in Ethan's smile. Yet despite the joy Ethan brought, Jason feared the questions that would come, the whispers in high society, the judgments from friends who didn't understand why he was embracing a homeless child with such fierce devotion. Meanwhile, Ethan's world shifted dramatically. The street corners and alleyways were replaced with polished floors and velvet curtains. The constant hunger was replaced with meals that filled his belly, and the loneliness was pierced by the warmth of genuine kindness. But beneath it all was a silent fear, the fear that this new life could be taken away at any moment, just like the streets had been ripped from beneath him when his mother died. His nights were restless. He'd lie awake, fingers tracing the edges of his new glasses, trying to make sense of faces that were no longer blurred shadows. The memory of being tossed aside was a wound that still throbbed, and the uncertainty of his place in this strange new world was a weight on his small shoulders. One afternoon, as Rachel and Jason busied themselves planning a celebration for Ethan's upcoming 10th birthday, the boy sat by the window, eyes fixed on the distant cityscape. He wondered if the people rushing below even noticed him, if any of them understood the journey he had taken just to be here. But life in Willow Creek wasn't without its complications. Rumors began to swirl among the staff and neighbors. Whispers of the homeless boy taken in by the wealthy couple carried tones of skepticism and gossip. Some wondered if this was a charitable stunt, others whispered of ulterior motives. The barriers of class and prejudice did not vanish overnight. At school, Ethan faced the toughest challenge, yet belonging. Children who had grown up with privilege eyed him with suspicion, their words sometimes sharp, their curiosity invasive. The social divide was real, and Ethan found himself navigating a world as complex and unforgiving as the streets he had left behind. Rachel fought fiercely for him, attending meetings, confronting teachers, and working to create a safe space for Ethan. She wanted to shield him from the cruelty that she knew all too well. But she also understood that true healing required strength and resilience, qualities Ethan had shown in abundance since day one. The turning point came unexpectedly. One afternoon after school, Ethan was approached by a group of classmates who had been watching him quietly. The ringleader, a girl named Olivia, stepped forward, her eyes soft but determined. "Ethan," she said hesitantly, "I've seen how strong you are. I want to be your friend. Maybe we can help each other." It was a small gesture, but monumental for Ethan. A bridge was built, one that began to tear down walls of isolation and fear. Back home, the family prepared for the surgery that could change Ethan's life forever. The ophthalmologist had been hopeful but realistic. The congenital cataracts that clouded Ethan's vision could be removed, but the road ahead would be long and uncertain. Rachel sat beside Ethan in the sterile hospital room, holding his hand as the nurses prepared him for the operation. Her heart pounded with a mix of hope and terror. This was a moment of rebirth for Ethan, but also a leap into the unknown. Jason, pacing outside the operating theater, was a bundle of nerves. The cold silence of the waiting room was broken only by the occasional beep of medical monitors. He reflected on how much had changed since Ethan walked into their lives, how a single act of honesty had shifted everything. Hours later, the surgeon emerged, his face tired but smiling. The surgery went well. Ethan should begin to see light and shapes within days. It's a good start. Relief washed over them like a wave. They were one step closer to a new beginning. In the days that followed, Ethan's vision gradually improved. Colors burst into view, shapes took form, and the world, once a place of shadows and fear, became vibrant and alive. He saw Rachel's tear-streaked face, Jason's proud smile, and for the first time he saw himself reflected not as a street child, but as a boy with a future. The healing was not just physical, but emotional. Ethan learned to trust, to hope, and to dream again. Rachel, inspired by her son's resilience, channeled her pain into purpose, founding a charity to support children like Ethan, those left invisible by society, but rich in spirit. Jason found new meaning beyond wealth and success. He became a vocal advocate for social change, realizing that real influence meant lifting others up, not just climbing higher. Their story spread throughout Willow Creek, touching hearts and inspiring change. Neighbors once indifferent began volunteering, local businesses donated, schools opened their doors to children in need. The community learned that redemption and kindness could rewrite even the darkest stories. One evening, as the sun set over the city skyline, Ethan stood with Rachel and Jason on the porch of their home. The world around them was vast and full of possibility. "I never thought I'd see colors like this," Ethan whispered, eyes wide with wonder. Rachel smiled, brushing a stray lock of hair from his face. "You've always had color inside you, Ethan. Now the world can see it too." Jason nodded, wrapping an arm around them both. "And we'll be here every step of the way." The journey from the streets to the stars was not easy, but it was real. It was proof that even in the face of loss, cruelty, and doubt, love could heal, transform, and give new life. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the interruption, but we hope you will help us improve our content in the future. What part of Ethan's transformation resonated with you the most? Have you ever witnessed or experienced a moment where someone's kindness changed a life? What do you think it truly means to belong? Share your thoughts below. The transformation in Ethan's life was nothing short of miraculous, but it was also the beginning of a new chapter filled with challenges, growth, and undeniable hope. After the successful surgery, Ethan woke up to a world he had only dreamed of seeing: the vibrant colors of the sky, the faces of people who loved him, the delicate flutter of leaves in the wind. But with this newfound sight came the weight of the past, the memories of loneliness, and the fear of the unknown future. Rachel and Jason dedicated themselves fully to Ethan's care. Every morning began with therapy sessions, exercises to strengthen his vision, and endless encouragement to build his confidence. Yet the emotional wounds ran deeper than the physical ones. Ethan struggled with feelings of abandonment, confusion about his identity, and the painful knowledge that the mother he longed for had rejected him. Rachel stayed awake many nights, holding him close, whispering promises of safety and belonging, trying to heal what years of neglect had broken. Meanwhile, Pamela's mother, Evelyn, whose bitter heart had tried to extinguish Ethan's chance at happiness, had passed away unexpectedly. The revelation of Evelyn's malicious intent had shaken the family, but it also served as a painful turning point. Rachel and Jason resolved to break free from the shadows cast by Evelyn's cruelty. They focused on building a future for Ethan defined not by hatred or secrecy, but by love, truth, and justice. In school, Ethan faced both kindness and cruelty. Some children stared at him intrigued by the story of the boy who had risen from the streets, while others whispered and teased, unable to understand his past or see beyond his differences. Olivia, the girl who had first noticed him and sparked his journey to hope, stood firmly by his side. Together, they challenged the prejudices of their classmates, turning whispered gossip into shared understanding. Ethan's resilience became a beacon for others. His teachers noticed his determination, his classmates saw his kindness, and the community slowly embraced the boy who had once been invisible. The local newspaper ran a feature on Ethan's journey, inspiring many to volunteer at shelters and support programs for homeless youth. Rachel founded the Second Light Foundation, a nonprofit aimed at providing resources, education, and shelter for children in vulnerable situations. Jason leveraged his business connections to secure funding and partnerships. The foundation's mission was clear: to ensure that no child would endure the hardships Ethan faced alone. Despite the successes, Ethan's heart sometimes ached with the question of who he truly was. The legal process of adoption unfolded slowly. Each step forward was met with bureaucratic hurdles and emotional strain. But Rachel and Jason never wavered. The promise of family acceptance and security kept Ethan's spirits alive. One quiet evening, Ethan found himself alone on the porch, gazing at the stars with a mixture of wonder and longing. The city lights twinkled far below, but his thoughts drifted to the streets he had once called home. He whispered into the night, "I'm not the same boy who sat alone on that cardboard. I'm more, and I will be more." It was a vow to himself, a promise to transform pain into purpose. As the foundation grew, so did Ethan's role in it. He became an ambassador, sharing his story at events, speaking to lawmakers about homelessness, and working directly with kids still struggling on the streets. His voice, once silenced by fear, now commanded attention and respect. One spring day, as Ethan spoke passionately at a youth shelter, he saw a familiar face in the crowd. It was Pedro, a boy who reminded Ethan of himself, a child full of hope despite adversity. After the speech, Ethan approached him and extended his hand. "You're not alone," he said simply. "We'll get through this together." Back at the mansion, Rachel and Jason celebrated small victories: another child placed in a loving home, another success story shared, another community rally inspired by their cause. Yet the memory of Pamela's mother's harshness lingered, a reminder of the battles fought not just outside but within families. In a moment of quiet reflection, Jason confided to Rachel, "We've come so far, but this is just the beginning. Healing isn't just for Ethan, it's for all of us." Rachel nodded, tears glistening. "And together we'll keep moving forward." Ethan's journey culminated in a community gala celebrating the foundation's impact. Surrounded by friends, family, and supporters, he stood at the podium and shared his heartfelt message. "I used to believe I was invisible, that no one cared. But today I know that every person matters, that every child deserves love, respect, and a chance. This foundation is more than just a building or a program. It's a symbol of hope. And if my story teaches you anything, it's that no matter where you come from, your future can be bright if someone believes in you." The applause thundered through the hall. Olivia squeezed Ethan's hand, proud and joyful. Rachel and Jason watched, their hearts full. Later that night, as the guests departed, Ethan looked up at the stars again. This time there was no sadness, only gratitude, strength, and the promise of a new dawn. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the interruption, but we hope you will help us improve our content in the future. What part of Ethan's story inspired you the most? Have you ever experienced a moment where kindness changed everything? How do you think we as a society can better support children like Ethan? If this story touched your heart, please comment 100 below and tell us which country you're watching from. Don't forget to share this video to spread hope and love.